The unique thing about space technology is that if you deliver a solution to a problem somewhere, then you can quickly deliver the same solution to the same problem anywhere in the world. If you use navigation in your car, or if you watch TV, or if you listen to the radio in the mornings, you are using satellite technology every day. How do we use that for businesses and for people here down on Earth? The Satellite Applications Catapult is a new type of innovation centre that's been set up here in the UK to help businesses and the broader economy take advantage of new technologies. We work with the researchers who are developing new technology, and we also work at the business end with companies like supermarkets or insurance companies or farmers, so that they can think about how they can use this technology and start to build it into their everyday activities. If you were somebody new to the space sector and came to us with an idea, then we could really help.
The space sector is hugely exciting. It's an evolving sector with the technology being much more accessible. We're now seeing a trend towards things like small satellites, so satellites that are the size of a loaf of bread that are being launched into space in big constellations, and that can be done very cheaply, which means our access to the technology is much better than ever before. There's huge volumes of data coming from these satellites much more cheaply than ever before, which is a real resource that can be tapped into. So where before we lacked some of that access and also some of the technical capability of these systems to really make the science a reality when it comes to sustainable commercial applications, that is now a reality. So there are huge opportunities to work with big commercial entities, all working around some of the sort of sustainable development challenges that we're seeing more globally.
Cities have a real opportunity to develop their capability of using satellite data, because there's a real need for regular data, regular updates. We want to work at the national level, so the central departments, but we also recognise that actually a lot of what happens within public sector happens at a very localised level, whether it's the local health centres, the local healthcare providers, and those are the people that we're trying to change. National Health Service have already invested in this concept of healthy new towns. How can you physically build an area, put in infrastructure that encourages people to be healthy? How can you use satellite imagery to keep an update on the changing landscape, whether that's a park, whether that's a cycle pathway, and then start to use things like Internet of Things technologies, like Fitbits and Garmin watches, whether the data from that can be transmitted using location-based services that monitor where those people are working, where their people are spending their time, to really understand where to put that park. One of the really exciting projects, it was looking at how breast screening happens. So at the moment within the UK, there are these mobile vehicles that are put in car parks so that people get scanned for potential breast cancer. And although the images are captured digitally, mammographers who are highly skilled, highly trained, are having to drive a hard drive back to the hospital. Surely there's a better way of doing this. Surely with current technology we should be more advanced than this. And actually what this system is doing, it allows the people on the van to automatically upload the images and have them in the back-end system at the NHS by the next morning.
I'm a fisheries analyst at Ocean Mind, a partnership between the Pew Charitable Trust and the Satellite Applications Catapult, with a goal to reduce illegal fishing activity, which ties into food security, to livelihoods for coastal communities, and in general for the sustainability and the environmental protection of our oceans. So we're looking for fishing behaviour where it shouldn't be. You see here this sort of pattern of backwards and forwards, and we can look at the speed of that as well, how the vessel's moving, and that indicates to us that that is a long-lining vessel. Primary layer of data we have for tracking fishing vessels is the automatic identification system, which is essentially a collision avoidance system. And what we're able to do is pick that information up by satellites and get a global coverage and global picture of all these movements of vessels. We then layer on top of that other information, synthetic aperture radar, along with optical satellites, and we have a whole variety of other data as well. We can help then provide what we call actionable insight to both governments and the industry, so they can then use that information to then better manage their marine areas.
My two true passions are technology and development, and so I obviously couldn't be in a better place. GEO really is trying to provide the standards, the connectivity of all the organizations that are involved in using Earth observation. It's pretty impressive also in the context of the Sustainable Development Goals to see the level of effort and interest that people are putting into making sure they're doing a good job.
Very much at the heart of the way that the Catapult operates are the principles of collaborative innovation. And what that means is bringing together partners and organizations with very different mindsets, with very different backgrounds, all together to discuss common challenges and common objectives. Often what we try to do at the end of a project or at the end of engagement is just share and publish the information so that as many people can benefit as possible.